Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third edition of the Chair NFL Preview 2019. And now we'll dig into another AFC division. This one is the AFC South. It has the Colts, the Texans, the Titans, and the Jaguars. Last year, the Colts had a renaissance year as well as Andrew Luck. This year, coming into the Colts year, there is uncertainty of how Andrew Luck calf is. His strain calf is making him again very having to be very careful with what he does on the practice field, and there's doubt that he'll be ready week one. But keep the hope alive about that. If Jacoby Brissett, may remember him as the years when Andrew Luck was injured, he was starting. They have a stud at running back with Marlon Mack. He is a young running back, which is great. And they have some other running backs that will complement him. And the Colts need the running game to go. For receivers, the ever dangerous T.Y. Hilton, very good one. He's top 10, in my opinion. And they'll need to get him the ball. For the second receiver they have that I noticed that will make an impact was Devin Funchess was with Carolina, and now with the Colts looking to make an impact somewhere else. He came on last year for the Panthers, and there was uncertainty about Cam Newton. He showed up to play a good receiver. At tight end, they are solid at tight end. Now, as we know with Andrew Luck, he needs a tight end. And they have Eric Ebron, who shined last year. There were talks with him and with Eric Ebron in Detroit that he would drop a lot of passes. But the catches that he would make would be very flashy. Now he's doing both these last couple of years with the Colts. And he's getting a lot of pub, which is very duly noted and deserved. Also, at tight end on the other side, they have Jack Doyle. Very good tight end, very solid, great hands, great blocking. And the one offensive lineman that stood out is at the Castono from Ohio State. And he's a left tackle, and the reason I put him down, he's imperative to Andrew Luck's health, plain and simple. Defensively, and this hurts as a former Raider, they have Autry, and he's a defensive tackle inside that really did well last year. Ever since he left the Raiders, really, he's done well, so that really sucks. I mean, that's good. You got him, when he's good. I guess he's just getting out of the Raider system or something. They have Justin Houston, who you could put on the line, stand up outside defensive end, or have him back in the linebacker position from Kansas City, if you remember that name. That will just add to the great defense that they have. If you remember last season, they had a rookie linebacker of Darius Leonard, who was just awesome. Led the defense last year. Tackles. Even had some clutch interceptions, if I recall, and shined in the playoffs. So those are guys to look out for. And the ageless Adam Vinatieri is still kicking. Now, if you look at his career, it's funny. He's kicked with the Patriots, Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady, and then he went over to the Colts now all these years. And he's, kicked for Peyton Manning and Jacoby Brissett and George Sergi, and uh, and now Andrew Luck. And, he's been around, and it's just funny. He's still going. He's like, I believe he's 45. I never looked that up for sure, but still going. And if Andrew Luck is healthy, I predict that they'll be in first. I have to think there'll be a solid group defensively and offensively. It just all depends on Andrew Luck. Uh, whatever he, whenever they decide and he decides he's healthy and ready to go, we'll see. We'll see. Uh, Second team I have is the Houston Texans in the division. They'll be fighting for a wild card spot. Depends on the Colts, like I said. Sean Watson, it seemed like he had a down year last season. Things didn't go for him right. Uh, they'll need to continue to improve. And there was one move that the Texans made because the Cleveland Browns had a disgruntled running back in training camp, and that was Duke Johnson, who did not want to be with the Browns, and he wanted a first-class ticket out, and was traded to the Houston Texans. They also have Lamar Miller, who puts up a lot of numbers, has a lot of carries. So their running back positions are solid there. Just depends how Duke Johnson fills in, really, with Houston. Offensive line, Matt Khalil, you know him, real good offensive lineman. Zach Fulton, who's been there so long. The receivers, there's Will Fuller on one side, and then there's the top 5 receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, who knows he's good. He'll tell you he's good. He is good. He makes these ridiculous one-hand catches. Every season he'll put out 3 or 4 ridiculous catches you think you've never seen before. And that's what DeAndre Hopkins is all about. And if they can get him the ball down the field, have him juke and break some tackles, he's a big game threat. We'll see how he does in 2019. Now, defensively, there are some issues. I think you have to start with Jadeveon Clowney. It seems like he's often injured, and he's if you go back to last year, Jadeveon Clowney, and I saw the Texans pretty much all season last year, and it seemed like Jadeveon was in one series, out another. They're really particular with him because of his health. So that's going to be a thing. Is he ready to play every series, every down? Is he explosive around the edge? Is he ready to go? He's been franchise tagged, so he's got to ball out in order to show that he can do what he can do, but maybe somewhere else after 2019. But the thing is he going to be healthy? That's the thing. Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be able to show out? On the other side, you have J.J. Watt, and he's pretty much Captain America when it comes to defense in the NFL. Very good player, just powerful in all sorts of ways, but he does get the injury bug a lot. And that's one thing we really have to be worried about coming into any season. The pushing, the prying, the power driving. How much did that affect his legs, his knees, and thighs, and all that? So we'll be looking out for him to be having a great season if healthy. So we hope the best for him and Jadeveon Clowney. Linebackers, they have Whitney merciless. He's really good. He's he's one guy you can depend on, along with Watt being the guy. And in the secondary, a man who's been there a long time, number 24, Jonathan Joseph. He's getting up there in age, but he's still doing what he's doing, and there's a reason why he's still there. So I have them in second place, but this division all depends on Andrew Luck. Now, the third team in the division, at least how I have it as of now, because there are talks about quarterback Marcus Mariota with the Tennessee Titans may not be ready for week one and some of the season. So they brought in Ryan Tannehill to back him up. Ryan Tannehill, as you know, if you watched my last video, he was decent with Miami and then faded, and that's why he was tradable. Now, at running back, they have studs at running back. And for Tennessee, Derrick Henry, he showed off his power, his speed, his force, his running agility. Really, really young and great running back coming up. And I recall the, 98-yard run against Jacksonville. I think it was on the Thursday. And he was, stiff-arming Jaguars off of him, which sounds pretty cool. If you think about it. But, Derrick Henry is a force. And we'll see how he does again. But they also picked up a New England Patriot stalwart. That's Dion Lewis. He's a great pass-catching running back, very changeable. He can play outside, inside. And that's just another weapon that Mariota will have. And with Mariota, he'll need someone to throw to if he's outside running around for his life. And we'll get to that once we get to the offensive line, because there are issues there to start this season at least. For the receiving corps, you don't really know names, but Corey Davis, he's been there a little while, and he's got it in the system that Mike Vrabel has there in Tennessee. Adam Humphries is a little receiver, little slot receiver. He's got speed. Don't let his race fool you. He's got speed, and he's with Tampa Bay the last few years. But he's one game breaker. If he gets something going, he can break one off. Delaney Walker, he's a veteran still going at tight end for Tennessee, and it's great to still see him going. And he was injured, I believe, all last year, and we'll see what he has left this season coming back from injury. So that would be something to look for Tennessee, as they need tight ends to break out, because after Walker, they have some young ones. Now, the offensive line, they have a stud at Taylor Lewin, but he's going to be suspended. He got caught substance, and he made a very apologetic video, and I believe his suspension is for the first 4 games or 6. Should have looked that up, but that might hinder the Titans right away, along with the Mariota issues. So, we'll have to see about that. They also have Roger Saffold from the LA Rams. anchoring the offensive line whenever Lewin is not there. Excuse me. And now we'll get to the defense of Tennessee, whom is really good. And they're all pretty young. Uh, but if you look at the offensive line, the one guy that stood out is Cameron Wake. He had 5 years in Miami, and now he's going to be with Tennessee, and he's going to have a lot of responsibility on the offensive line. He's chasing around the mobile quarterbacks that this division has. And then in the linebacking court, the one guy that stood out was Wesley Woodward, the veteran. He's still there. He's still making plays. When you think about tight end linebackers, you think about Keith Bullock. That's a great name that comes up every time I see a linebacker for Tennessee. And Woodworth, learned from him, and now he's doing it. Now the secondary are the meat and potatoes of the Tennessee defense. Corners, you have Logan Ryan, fine corner. You have Malcolm Butler, remember him, of course, from the Super Bowl, making that clutch interception. And also as a corner in training, and also a great special teams guy, you have Adoree Jackson from USC. He's definitely a work in progress, but you love his speed. But I guess the one thing you have to work on is as a safety, tackling in your hands. But the speed is no doubt there. Safeties, Casco is still there, and the great tight end of all the defense. You have Bird back there, number 31, Kelvin Bird. He's a really, really great player that the league has to watch out for in the division. This division we're talking about. And he just got paid recently, so he's worth that contract Tennessee gave him. Special teams, Ryan Suckup, the kicker, and Brett Kern still going for the tight ends as the punter. So that will be a interesting team to look out for. Their defense will be the anchor. We'll see about Mariota, because we don't know what he's going to come out with. We don't know what he's going to be. All that goes back to Mariota's available to begin. We'll see how the season ends up from there. Now we'll go down to Florida, North Florida, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I have them in last. I guess it all depends again with luck, the Mariota, the play of Deshaun Watson, and they also Jaguars. They also have the Super Bowl hero of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's Nick Foles. Now, he had some family issues, but they're all pretty good now, and he's ready to go and ready to get the season going. And there's some good things about him from camp already. And we won't got to look out for. You always have to worry about his health as well. And they're hoping the offensive line can, young offensive line too, can block for him. Running backs, they're pretty set. Leonard Fournette is there. He's looking to have a bounce back year. Last year, he was not good at all. I just say this, if you saw Leonard Fournette in the good year they had, and then they had the bad year last year, he was like the team. He was the team in a nutshell. If Leonard has a bad year, the Jaguars going to have a bad year. But now they have some backups. They have Alfred Blue. They have Thomas Rawls. Not Lou Rawls, but Tyson Rawls. He was one of those Seahawk running backs that ran hard for Pete Carroll last year, the last few years. And we'll talk about the Seahawks when we get there, Todd. Uh, wide receivers, they're really young. Marquise Lee stays out of trouble. He'll be good. D.D. Westbrook is the guy that he's the focal point of the receiving corp of Jacksonville. Conley is there, and I put him in just because he was a Raider, but he's been bouncing around as a receiver, but Terrell Pryor. So we'll see we'll see how he does uh, on a national stage. I believe next Friday we play against Miami, and we'll see if Terrell Pryor can show out and get a spot on the receiver. He was with the Jets, I believe, last year as a receiver. The strength of the Jaguars, you have to believe, is the defense. And the man who anchors the defensive line, Calais Campbell, he's solid. He's a good guy too. And you hear him speak, see him play. Real solid player. I've always watched him and enjoyed his sound bites and way he gets after quarterbacks. Real good guy, even when he was in Arizona. Defensive tackle, one stood out, is Darius. He was with Buffalo. Now he's with the Jaguars. Big pickup there. Linebacking corps, Miles Jack. He had a breakout year a couple years ago, and he's pretty solid. Corners, DJ Hayden, AJ Bowie. But the one guy that stands out at corner, Jalen Ramsey, all about himself and looking to break the bank. He came in with his Adidas security truck to training camp, and it was very awkward too because really no one responded. There were fans around. If it wasn't humid rain, if you saw the video, it was a nice sunny day, and there were fans around, cheering on him coming in. Then I think it would have been a better video, but no, I was just awkward. It was for Adidas, so it's just for his promotion or whatnot. So if he's not controversial, the Jaguars will be okay. But if he fights with teammates, fight with the offense, if he fights with the other receivers, gives up passes, not just focuses on football, it's going to be a long year for Jalen Ramsey and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So as of now, if Luck is healthy and everything works with the Colts, I have them in first. I have Houston second. I have Tennessee third. And Jacksonville fourth in that AFC South division. And that is that. We will do another video soon, and we will tackle the last division that we're going to preview in the AFC. That, of course, is the AFC West with the Oakland Raiders, among others. And we will have a discussion about that division for sure. So we'll catch you next time on the Chair Special Edition. NFL Season Preview 2019. I'll let you later.